Okay, so it's the first game of the season. Bologna versus Milan. This season is a big one for us, especially for Pioli. He will need to get it right this season. There is no more joking around. There is no more low standards. Pioli has done great so far. He has shown that he has more than enough capabilities to be here, but there are some flaws that are extremely recognizable, and he needs to fix those. One of those flaws that is extremely recognizable is his his mindset in big games, especially. He sometimes he you can see there is fear in him that he feels inferior to bigger teams, especially in Champions League. I remember the games with against Chelsea, home and away. Uh, we felt like we didn't belong there. So that's something to also uh, really look at this season, because we don't want to be going to Champions League with that feeling and with that mentality. Uh, we need to be up there. We made the Champions League semi-final last season, so this season we need to go as far as we can as well. Now, of course, I have very high standards for Milan. I have standards to win the Champions League, back to the old days where we used to dominate Europe. But I understand now that the game has changed, and also the team is not like it used to be, full of legends and world-class players. Of course, now we have good players. Rafael Leao, I would call world class, but I'm still cautious there because he needs to be very consistent. Especially this season, I'm expecting at least 15 to 20 goals, and at least somewhere around 10 to 13 assists as well. He needs to be our main player, and in order for Pioli to remain at the club, this season has to be the key. We need to win the Serie A. That's the first requirement. I am all about trophies, but I won't accept just winning Coppa Italia and nothing else. Uh, I don't care about finishing in the top four. For me, if you don't win Champions League, is we need to be there anyway. So that's the standard of the club, that achieving Champions League, I mean being in the Champions League, is not an achievement. Milan is all about winning, and it's all about being up there. When you mention the top clubs names in the world right now, you have to say Man City. You but the generally big clubs like Manchester United, Liverpool. You have to add Juventus there. You have to add Inter as well. You without being biased. Then, of course, Real Madrid and Barcelona and Bayern Munich. So those are the names of the big clubs in the world. AC Milan this last decade and so has quietened down when it comes to the name. Because I listen to a lot of podcasts, football podcasts, especially like in the English media and YouTube. In the YouTube world, I don't actually see Milan recognized as a big club like it used to be. They never mention the name of Milan, and rightly so, because Milan hasn't been acting like a big club. It has been in crisis, and now we're starting to get back to our feet. This is also why I'm starting this YouTube channel, so because I can see something good happening here, and I have to also experience it and enjoy it while I do what I like and what I love, which is YouTube. So yeah, uh, about the game, because I was talking a lot generally about Milan and stuff. But about the game against Bologna tomorrow, the starting lineups, the expected starting lineups are, when it comes to Milan, front three of Leao, Giroud, Pulisic. There were talks that Pioli would play Chukwueze instead of Pulisic. I still believe that he will start Pulisic. I don't know why. I just think that Pioli doesn't take too much risk. That is also something that I am also being present with him. Then the midfield is made of Reinders, Krunic, Loftus-Cheek. Now, I really like what we are doing with the midfield this season. Reinders, I can't wait to watch him play. I can't wait to see him compete especially in the Champions League, just to really see how much impact he will have. I have expectations on him this season. He is a great talent. Technically, he's amazing. And then we have Krunic as well. Krunic. There are talks that he will go to Fenerbahce. I'm still not sure if that will happen. They are saying that his fellow national teammate Edin Dzeko from Bosnia is convincing him to go to Fenerbahce, but now we don't know. Since he's starting, since it seems like it's starting, I don't know how much this will be realized. That there were also talks that Milan will wanted to give him a new contract and basically double, I think, his payment or something like that, which I'm still not sure about that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Anyway, then we have Loftus-Cheek. Now, with Loftus-Cheek, he's a good player. There's no doubt in that. There's just something about him that raises a question mark in me, that he sometimes, either you're too cautious with him if he will soon get injured because his injury record is horrible, or I think the midfield balance with him needs to have another player, maybe more like Kessie than Krunic, because Loftus-Cheek is more close to Kessie than Krunic. I understand that, but there needs to be like a more dynamic, more technically better six to play with Loftus-Cheek. I feel like Krunic is good. Especially when it comes to defensive work, he's amazing. I can't take that away from him. Technically, he's not the best, and I think Milan's aim needs to be to improve the team when it comes to technical ability and physical ability as well. Because one thing with Italian teams in general, especially with Milan, I'm not very satisfied with our technical preparation. I mean, physical preparation. Sometimes that gets exposed in Champions League, especially when we play against English teams or teams that play. Especially against the English teams that play in a much faster paced league. So you kind of see that physically we cannot match them. So I would really like for us to improve in that area as well, not for our players to burn out, and just to have more better physical preparation. And I'm also not satisfied with the club's doctors. because sometimes there are too many injuries, and especially by the end of the season when we need to have our team ready to go for big games, uh, like last season in the UCL semis. The Leao's first game missing was detrimental. We could have probably gone to the final if Leao was playing the first game. Maybe we wouldn't, but who knows? That he would increase our chances by a lot more if he would play that first game. Just defensively, Inter would be more cautious, and yeah, uh, it would change the dynamic of the game in general. Then, I want to also mention about Giroud before we go to the defense. Let's see what kind of strikers we will get now, like that the window has 2 more weeks. Let's see about that, because I'm not sure if Giroud can be fit and can play the entire season. He's old now, and Okafor is not a 9. He's more like a second striker, so I wouldn't call him like a key 9, or like that's that striker that you need, especially in games where you don't have a lot of ball, but you have that corner, you have that set piece, you have that chance where a player like Giroud just can help you a lot. Like, just his presence is different in the attack. But yeah, I think we will need a striker there. Who was the player that I would be really happy we would get? Forgot now. Oh yeah, Julian Alvarez, but that's a dream. Julian Alvarez, even though he's not like that big guy up front, he would be the ideal number 9 for Milan. Technical, fast, super finisher, like everything that you need in today's day and age from a striker. Maybe not the best heading, but because of his height, but that's nothing if you have a striker of that quality. Then going back to the defense, the expected starting defense is the Theo Hernandez, Tomori, Malik Thiaw, and Kalulu. Now I like that Pioli is trusting Kalulu to start right back for us this season. Let's see how he does. He had some decent pre-season matches. Malik Thiaw, I think he will be our defender of the season. I genuinely think that. I was very excited when he first got Tomori. He had a very good first season, but oh my god, after that I have completely changed my mind about him. I don't know what's up with him. He panics. He's like very impatient. He looks like he doesn't know what he should do, therefore he tries to overdo it sometimes, if that makes sense. And that causes a lot of sometimes penalties. He gives away silly penalties. And yeah, just his body language, body movement sometimes is not the best because he doesn't know how to position himself, therefore the strikers can get the better out of him. So I'm very cautious about Tomori as well this season. I hope he changes my mind, and it would be a great feeling if we would get another center back to compete for the first team. Who I would want realistically that we could get, I'm not sure. I have to think about that. But yeah, we need Tomori's qualities, like his pace, complements Malik Thiaw perfectly. So that partnership I like, but I still don't trust Tomori fully, especially like on big games, Champions League games, because that's what Milan is about, right? It's Champions League. Serie A needs to be what we aim for and what we need to win, but Champions League is where we thrive. Champions League, like, is in Milan's DNA. Even like the rivals know that, even though that's not being talked in today's day and age a lot because we have been silent, but people know Milan is different in Champions League. Then we have Theo Hernandez. One thing about Theo Hernandez is I really want him to step up this season, to have his and to humble himself. I feel like he needs to humble himself more. He has been given the captain's armband. He's a great servant to the club. He is an amazing player. He's like taken full responsibility to be that captain that Maldini was, but I feel like he needs to humble himself, because sometimes in small games he just is very complacent. He's very like, I'm too good to be here, that kind of attitude I feel from him. So he needs also to help us with his humility and hard work, because he has extraordinary talent. He's like I remember Pioli saying something around he plays let me just check this quickly. He said something along the lines of he plays like yeah, he's in a breath of God. So something along. I'm not sure if that was correct, but I remember something. It's related a lot, because Theo Hernandez is a player that he's decent defensively. I'm not saying anything like world class or something, because that's not his main attribute. But offensively, oh my God! Sometimes he is the attacker that we miss in most games. He wins us games, and he's a defender, technically speaking. And that partnership with that left side, Reindeers, Leo, Theo Hernandez, that is a very strong left side. Hopefully our right side can do its justice again this season, because last season we had Salamarcas and Messias. There we have Calabria. It wasn't the best. We would go through like the most games in Serie A, but in big games you can just see they were not of the required quality for this club. Then of course in goal, the expected starter is Magnan, Magic Mike, and yeah, I really think he's top 3 best goalkeepers in the world. I would put there Courtois, Onana, then you have Magnan. I'm not sure if I'm forgetting any goalkeeper. Of course, you have Alisson, Ederson, but when it comes to pure goalkeeping, on top of being good with your feet, I think Magnan is amazing. Because of course, when you think of Ederson, the first thing that comes to your mind it's his ball playing ability with his feet. So that shouldn't be the case with goalkeepers. When you think about a goalkeeper, the first thing that should come to your mind is his saves, his goalkeeping ability. Ederson is a great goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, he's an amazing goalkeeper, but just take that ball playing with his feet ability from him and you would think differently of Ederson, because he doesn't pull out those crazy saves that you see all over social media, like when Manyan does, for example. Yeah, I just think he's very good though. Then you have Alisson. I would probably put Alisson first. Alisson is one of them goalkeepers that he's an amazing shot stopper, playing with his feet, everything. He's an amazing goalkeeper. His leadership and everything. Because with goalkeeping, there are so many branches that you can take and put into one. You have the leadership, the controlling the defense, just making sure everything is all right there, giving that safety feeling to your defenders, providing that confidence. That's a rare thing that for goalkeepers to have, and the goalkeepers that have that, they are special, because they assure you that our box is safe and defend. That gives an extra boost to the defenders, like even with to the defenders that are not of very high quality, having that kind of goalkeeper behind them just takes them to another level and just helps them a lot. So that's a very important thing that Alisson has. Manyan has that as well. Onana has that. Their communication with the defenders, their discipline is beautiful. Anyway, then Bologna, I'm just going through their team fast. Zirkzee, the striker, his name is Zirkzee. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. Ndoye, Ferguson, Orsolini, Dominguez, Abisher, Porsche, Beukema, Lukumi, Coraza, Skorupski in goal. This is it, guys. Yeah, thank you for watching the video. I will be coming with more content about Milan and in general about football, because I love football. My name is Andy, by the way. This is my first YouTube video, and I'm really excited and happy to start this channel finally, and just to keep giving you content about Milan first, then generally about football as well, because first of all, I'm a football fan before Milan. I love football. I play football myself, and yeah, it's just a sport that I love, and we will have a lot more different types of content in this channel about football in general, my thoughts about players, player analysis, player just reacting to player videos, the players that I like, different kind of players, new signings, everything. Yeah, well, a lot more content will come for sure. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.